Hello everyone, this is Romulus with Backpack Trader, and I am coming to you live from the Forum in ancient Rome, and we have had one heck of a finish to the month of March, to the first quarter, exploding to the upside after a harrowing and frightening experience to the downside for the first month and a half of the quarter. A couple of weeks ago, I was talking with you about the Dow Jones Transportation Index. This is the oldest index in the world. The Dow Jones Transportation and Dow Jones Industrial Averages were invented by Charles Dow in 1896. Prior to that, there were no stock market indexes. It's hard to believe. Well, in this market, I guess you can believe just about anything. But imagine trying to go through, at the time, a few thousand stocks. Today, there are more than 22,000 all around the world without the help of some type of organized basket or index fashion. So the Dow Jones Transportation Index, as I was mentioning, was right about in here, pulling back a bit from that purple line, which what we call this area when stocks are falling, bouncing from a similar area, that's called support. It is common when something breaks through support, like it did over here in late November, return trip, that becomes an area where the stock or the index cannot easily get through, as happened here, here, and here. That's called resistance. It also resisted itself right about here. But I was mentioning that there was a higher probability that between then and the end of April, that it was going to break through this resistance line and put a challenge up. By the way, that huge spike in price on November 2nd, that looks to be a bad piece of data. So I would look at this instead, moving it to a closing basis right around up in here. I suggested that the prices could challenge that area between then and the end of April. Well, it's happening now. It's not waiting till the end of April. It did break above it. Bit of a volume expansion over the previous couple of trading weeks. However, this is critically important, everybody. The volume did not really pop and bounce above that light blue line. And that light blue line is an average of volume over the previous 50 trading days. Breakouts must be accompanied by a large volume expansion on an index at least 20 to 25% above that 50-day average of volume for the previous 50 days. That didn't happen. It stopped right at that line. What does that mean? It doesn't mean the index is about to turn tail and fall apart, just that as it gets closer to these prices, even above them, it becomes a little more susceptible to a rally failure. Again, on a breakout, your old buddy Romulus, and this is 2,700 years of experience speaking, I have got to see volume expansion. Speaking of that, that is something that has been lacking on pretty much this entire run to the upside. This is 12.5% from those February 24th lows, and volume has been lacking and doing a disappearing act. That's not a positive development for a long-term, sustainable move to the upside, which so many people around the world, really billions of people and trillions of dollars, are hoping and praying for. We need to return to the bull market that started a little over 2 years ago in late March of 2020, and so far, this could be enough to bring the market up through mid-late April, but unless volume really starts to kick in, and you need it even higher than that, just because it was higher than the day before and the last couple of trading days it's got to be breaking above the 50, right around in here is where you want to see it on these types of days. I'll bet that if the S&P 500 fell 1 or 2% in a single day within the next week, that the volume would jump above that line like it had been back here and here and here and here and here and here and here. You get the idea? Okay, that's what's been lacking in this move. On the positive bullish side, the Russell 2000 showed up a little better. It had been kind of consolidating as the rest of the market was continuing to make new lows into late February. This only broke slightly to a new low, but really been putting in sideways action from the middle of January until about a week and a half ago. But now finally kind of coming to bear a little bit. Not even to bear to bull, breaking this little consolidated pattern in here to the upside. Again, a slight volume expansion, but not really what you want to see if this is going to be a sustainably strong upside move. In other words, breaking above the 200-day, breaking above all this resistance, continuing the bull market that started back in March of 2020. So far, not enough. Doesn't mean it can't happen, but I've got my doubts, everybody. I've got my doubts. In the meantime, kind of staying with it here. Sold just a very little bit of my long equity exposure into the run-up yesterday, and there's a little bit of a pullback going on so far this morning. And the war goes on. That is greatly unfortunate. I wouldn't put too much faith in anything that Russia comments on, peace negotiations or otherwise, until and unless Vladimir Putin is no longer in power, in charge of that country. Then everything that goes on over there is not to be trusted one way or the other. But again, you can see how much hope is out there for the continuation. A little bit of news that comes out about a peace negotiation that might be going well, and the market kind of moves up and out of here. Okay, right above this little consolidation area. That's on the Russell 2000. And you can see the S&P 500 putting on 4 days in a row to the upside after putting 4 days in a row to the upside over here as well. Any questions that you have, put them in the comments section right below. I will be sure to get back to you on those pretty darn quick, as always. And please hit that like button, share it around, go into your Facebook groups, Instagram groups, Twitter feeds, and everything. Let the world know that your old buddy Romulus, one of the most exciting and accurate stock market predictors in the entire internet universe, is back on YouTube and thrilled to be with you. Again, any questions or comments, put them in there, and I will see everybody again tomorrow. On my way back to ancient Rome. It's the spring season, and there is a lot of action. That's all for now.